Deku's perplexed by this. What could that be? What makes a mist that looks like that? He continues to stare on as the mist gets bigger and bigger. Aizawa, looking at him, would look down too, immediately getting onto guard and rushing down the stairs, telling Pro Hero 13 to keep them safe. Deku, seeing this, is confused. Why is Aizawa so on edge? Then it hits him. These aren't just actors. The point is driven home by the teleportation of Kurogiri to the top of the USJ, staring the class down as it begins to monologue. Deku looks on in horror. What should he do? Before he can think, two people rush in and try and defeat it, Bakugo and Kirishima. Deku, watching his vision almost slowing down as he sees the two of them plunging towards the villain. With Pro Hero 13 about to use their quirk on the villain, Deku, without thinking, would teleport between the two of them, grabbing them both and teleporting them back before yelling for Pro Hero 13 to do it. She does so, unleashing her quirk on the villain as it starts getting ripped apart. Deku, noticing its shiny metal body as the mist is carved off. He tells Bakugo and Kirishima about what he saw, them nodding. Now they knew that they could hit it. Right now, though, Deku had much bigger things to be doing. He excused himself before stepping backwards. Bakugo nodding and Deku giving him the thumbs up. He could handle it for a little. Deku, on the other hand, completely disappears. Kurogiri not even noticing. Deku suddenly warps into the principal's office, having been there on the first day of school, seeing All Might and Nezu sitting and talking over tea. Deku, without even saying, would grab both of them before teleporting them outside, just in front of the grounds. Going around to each of the classrooms he's been in and grabbing every single teacher he could see in legit less than 10 seconds. Deku had grouped all of them super confused before Deku teleports them back outside, filling them in on the situation. All Might and the teachers instantly get riled up over this. Students were in trouble because they weren't there. This would change right now. Deku, putting both his hands out, would touch All Might and Nezu first, teleporting them in before flickering back and forward between the two sites, collecting the heroes and forming a huge group back at the USJ. Kurogiri, currently attacking 13, would turn to see the heroes popping out of nowhere. How? When? Deku then appears next to them, before disappearing once more, teleporting behind Kurogiri before teleporting him straight to Bakugo and Kirishima. Having seen him come in, they knew what was up, straight away pinning him down before he could do anything. All of this unseen by the villains down below. Deku leaves him with the pros and the other two. Stepping back up, he needed to save one more person. He looks down the stairs, looming in front of them, a race ahead currently in a brawl with about 50 villains all at once. Deku teleports next to him before teleporting them back up. Shigaraki, confused on what just happened before Aizawa was replaced by 10 heroes showing up out of nowhere, including All Might plus Nezu, making it much easier to figure out the Nomu's powers and how to defeat him. Due to this, Kurogiri is also tied down by the pros. The day is won before it really began. Everyone's captured, Shigaraki and Kurogiri and the Nomu being locked up in Tartarus from there on out, seething at the loss they just faced, hoping someone would bail them out. Back at school, the police come and question students, though no one really saw anything bar a race ahead. He gets some cuts and bruises, but nothing too bad. He doesn't fight the Nomu. Deku's also questioned, reprimanded for his quirk use, but dismissed as long as he worked with them on some cases. Deku agreed to this, though skeptical on what they could possibly mean by that. After this, they return to class, not having any days off, maybe one or two for some shits and gigs, but something else is introduced, the UA Sports Festival, which everyone is super excited for. For the rest of the week, the class would legit just train, knowing how impactful this festival could be. The time finally arrives. Deku, sitting in the locker room beforehand, would legit just be scrolling on his phone, not a care in the world, before Todoroki came in, declaring war on Deku as he saw him as the biggest threat. Deku kinda giggles about this, but deep down he's taking it more seriously than he wants to. They go out, limed up in their class groups as each of the crowd will go nuts. Midnight doing a little introduction before Deku's called up to do a speech. Uh-oh, he forgot about the speech. He walks up slowly, trying to figure out what to say before making it up to the stairs. He stares out to the crowd before looking down at his class, looking at two people, Bakugo and Todoroki, before declaring he will win. Much like Bakugo in canon, Bakugo smiles in the crowd as he says this, lowkey loving every second of it. Deku doesn't even walk down, he teleports back to his spot again. The first obstacle is declared, the obstacle course. Deku rocking the biggest grin in his life. They line up at the start before it's counted down. 3, 2, 1, go! Deku at the back wouldn't have good vision, looking up as he teleports midair to look up in front of him. Just barely missing the ice, Todoroki slid under him. He looks down, cheap trick Todoroki, before teleporting in front of them to the 0-point robots. He watches as they suddenly lock in on him, rushing at his location. He sits completely still, waiting for them to punch as he yawns. They do so and he dodges the last second. The fist connecting with the floor and cracking it behind Deku. Deku teleporting on the robot's head would watch as the dust cloud covers where the rest of the competitors were. He cracks a grin before disappearing once more, landing on the other side of the pit. He sees the minefield in front of him. He would do something cool. I would do something cool about this, but let's be real, he just teleports to the end like, come on, he hasn't taken any chances. Walking through the finish line nonchalantly, the rest of the class not even making it past the first obstacle yet. The crowd goes wild, like wild. People throwing stuff. Not only did he back up his words, he did it quick. People were writing their internships for him straight away. The rest finish as the same as in canon. Bakugo getting second and Todoroki getting third. You know, yada yada from there. From across Japan, all for one plots. He connects the dots. He now knew what happened to his subordinates and how they got captured. Watching Deku teleport around the stadium with total disregard, he needed key players like Korigiri and Shigaraki back. All the hate he's built inside the two, he wasn't going to give it up that easy. For the cavalry battle, I'm going to say Deku, Bakugo, and Kirishima team up, wanting to fight each other in the 1v1 portion. Deku at the front, Kirishima defending from the back, and Bakugo on top. Like GG, there's like nothing could touch him, let's be real. From there, the 1v1 portion would finally begin. Deku walking out on the stage would be met by praise from legit everyone in the stands. Looking around and, hyping them up a little bit. He then stares down Shinso. He wasn't going to let a damn regular course student beat him. Right after the bell is rung, Deku teleports right next to him, sending a mean kick to his stomach before teleporting behind him, eating that motherfucker right on the top of the head. Shinso goes down right away, Deku winning in 2 shots. People go nuts. Deku kinda just chilling there. Shinso would wake up, Deku helping him up before teleporting him into the infirmary right away. He would get more praise from the crowd, going nuts. In the infirmary, Deku and Shinso talk. Deku apologizes for going so hard and Shinso kinda looks away. Deku would congratulate him for making it this far and ask about his quirk. Shinso explaining it would make Deku's eyes go wide. A general studies student had a power like this? He knows exactly what he has to do. Deku's second fight would then come up, Deku versus Todoroki. Todoroki coming on the stage with Deku being nowhere to be seen. Still chatting with Shinso. President Mike uses this time to hype them both up. The crowd out of their seats. People fighting over who they think was going to win. Right as he starts talking about Deku, he teleports right into the middle of the ring. People going nuts about this. Deku kind of showboating a little bit. Aizawa tells everyone to watch closely. The fight will begin, Todoroki straight away blasting a huge wall of ice to try and block his view. Deku has already been in the ring. He taps him on the shoulder on his far side. Todoroki spinning and blasting him once again. Deku gone again. Deku teleports midair and looks at him. You gonna fight me? Are you too busy building a nice little ice castle? He mocks Todoroki, the crowd siding with him. All bar Endeavor. Deku teleports behind him once again, kicking him to his far side once again. Use it, Todoroki. Go wild. He spam teleports around him, Todoroki encasing himself in an ice ball. Deku teleporting right inside. He looks at Todoroki, asking him what's up, why he was holding back. He gets told about Endeavor, his mum and his family. Deku kinda getting where he's coming from, though he disagreed. It wasn't his quirk. Todoroki thinking about it would unseal the ball from around himself. Deku teleporting out as Todoroki stares at his dad, stomping his foot as he sends a beam of ice to the side of the ring, blocking Endeavor's view from the fight. Deku grins as Todoroki bursts into flames. Finally, Todoroki begins building, preparing for his best attack, combining his sides and making a huge explosion. Deku feels this coming, feeling the steam radiating already. He straight away dips, looking up last second as Todoroki blasts him, teleporting right above the explosion and looking down as the entire blast radius is smashed. He begins falling down, seeing Todoroki kind of rocked by the recoil. He smirks a little as Todoroki begins looking around for him. Deku teleporting right in front of him and sending a mean elbow, knocking him straight out. Deku was crowned the winner and goes back to Recovery Girl, Shinso being gone, having gone to watch the fight instead. Deku gets healed up before one final round is declared. Who better to fight than the one and only two? They walk out calmly into the middle of the ring. Everyone's silent as they walk towards each other. They meet in the middle before dapping each other up, it echoing throughout the stadium. Crisp. Deku teleports back as Bakugo blasts back. Midnight counting down before they rocket to the middle. Once more, stopping and fighting straight hand-to-hand combat. No quirks, just fighting. The crowd watch on as the two go head-to-head, kicking, pushing, rolling. They go ham. Deku landing some, Bakugo landing some. Everyone watches on silent. They're neck and neck. All the pros are already impressed by their fighting capabilities and without quirks. The two of them jump back, wiping sweat from their forehead, noses bleeding, shins and knees scraped. They grin once more. You warmed up yet? Bakugo responds, more than warm. Bakugo rushing in this time with the explosions going full force behind him, almost teleporting at Deku, who teleports out of the way. They do a little cat and mouse for a while before once again throwing hands. Deku closing his eyes would see the punches being thrown, teleporting last second as Bakugo slips a little bit. Deku capitalizing and chipping down on him little by little. They both decide to end it with one last attack. Deku looked at him. He was keen, but he didn't really have a special move yet. He thinks for a second as Bakugo explodes into the sky, twisting and turning as he rockets back at Deku. Deku thinking quick, an idea coming to his head last second. He teleports up about 2 meters where Bakugo was flying towards, grabbing his hand midair and tilting it slightly as he shoots him towards the out of bounds. Bakugo tries to slow himself down, but he can't, crashing into the wall. Deku sighing with relief. If he got hit with that, it would have been GG. Deku would win the UA Sports Festival, walking up and collecting his medal. Bakugo being chill with being second, as he got an almost 10-minute fight, and Todoroki being fine with third as he unlocked his potential. Deku grabs a mic from All Might, looking to the crowd before speaking about the kid that he beat in the first round and about how amazing his quirk is. If he slipped up once, he would have been done for. Shinso looks on, eyes wide. He was talking about him. Deku calls his name out, Aizawa reading his quirk and what it does, also adding about the prac exam portion. Due to this, Shinso gets mad recognition as well, getting a way better selection to pick from for the internships. They would go back to class after the sports fest, walking inside and seeing a mountain of folders in front of them. Deku forgot he still had to do the paperwork. Please like and subscribe if you want to see where this is going, and please check out the podcast below. That's the end of part 3. Catch ya.